Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. First, I'd like to thank Chairman Block for having this item agendized for this hearing. This is an exciting once-in-a-generation opportunity that will have a profound impact on the future of California. The proposal before you today is to establish the California Blueprint for Research to Advance Innovations in Neuroscience program, as we are calling the CalBrain program. This groundbreaking research program, which the University of California would manage in collaboration with California's public and private research institutions, colleges, universities, national laboratories, and industry, would accelerate the development of cutting-edge brain mapping technologies. Scientists and government leaders from around the world believe that this is innovative research and it can lead to the treatments and even cures for brain-related disorders such as mental illness and Alzheimer's, autism, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, traumatic brain injury, and others. California's innovation sector also sees that brain mapping can transform the way that we develop information technologies and accelerate the development of robotics and artificial intelligence. The CalBrain program is designed to provide both the direction and the flexibility to maintain California's leadership in neuroscience innovation and train the next generation of scientists and engineers for the jobs of the future. This is the right time, and California is the right place to stand up and lead. Let's harness the economic potential of new brain mapping techniques and technologies to create jobs in industries of the future and also improve the lives of so many individuals and their families who suffer from brain-related disorders and diseases. Today, also to speak in support of the CalBrain program is Dr. Eric Hallgren, who is Professor of Radiology, Neuroscience, and Psychiatry and co-director of the Multimodal Imaging Lab and also Vice Chair for Basic Research for the Department of Neuroscience at UC San Diego.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Senators, for asking me. I'll be brief. Following the Apollo project 50 years ago and the Human Genome Project 25 years ago, President Obama proposed the human brain activity mapping as the grand challenge for our generation. Its goals will be harder to fulfill than those of previous challenges, but its benefits will also be greater. The human brain has nearly 100 billion neurons and at least 100 trillion synapses. Their precise arrangement is crucial, as is the timing of their activity down to the millisecond. Although we know a great deal about how individual neurons work and generally which areas of the human brain are activated in different situations, we lack an adequate model for how the human brain performs its essential functions. For example, how you are understanding me as I speak now and how I am generating these words. However, we do know that an adequate theory will consist of a widespread, complex, interactive network of billions of neurons. Just like you are one person, your brain is one network. But to understand it as such, we need new tools that are at once precise and comprehensive. Recent advances in molecular biology, nanotechnology, and computer science put these tools within reach. Diseases of the brain impose the greatest burden on society of any health problem. Alzheimer's disease is becoming epidemic. Brain technology will provide tools for earlier diagnosis, permitting treatment before irreversible damage has occurred. Epilepsy, which affects about 1% of our population, could benefit from precise disruption of the seizure network, which will be enabled by brain technology. Breakthrough treatments for Parkinson's disease, autism, traumatic brain injury, chronic pain, sleep disorders, and a multitude of neurological diseases are awaiting the technology to precisely delineate their underlying networks in living brains. Our understanding of schizophrenia, manic depressive, and other psychiatric diseases is sketchy because we just cannot probe their neural substrates now. In education, being able to observe the human brain as it reads or learns is crucial for developing pedagogical strategies that relate to the physical substrate of education, and crucial for devising individual treatments for dyslexia and learning disorders. The CalBrain program will be a driving force in creating a new cadre of scientists who are deeply knowledgeable in both neurosciences and engineering. Much of the funding will go to students at different levels, graduate and postdoctoral, and a small grants program would be focused on junior faculty who have great ideas that cannot be funded because they lack preliminary data. I'll be going to NIH next month to rank the initial set of grant proposals for the BRAIN initiative at a federal level. 90% of the good ideas will be rejected, and the great ideas without preliminary data are very unlikely to pass the committee. Brain diseases and brain challenges cost us trillions of dollars. The economic opportunities for treating these diseases or overcoming these challenges are correspondingly enormous. The California business community is enthusiastic about working with our universities to commercialize new imaging devices. Pharma is interested in new methods for early diagnosis and treatment monitoring. And computer companies want to incorporate the strategies that our brains use for perceiving, understanding, thinking, speaking, deciding in their next generation devices.
Okay, thank you. We'll move now to the LAO to give us a brief review of the Mental Health Services Act part of.
Sure. There's a second part of the proposal in issue 2 before you. It's a legislative proposal. It's $5 million in Mental Health Services Act funding, which is Prop 63. For 3 years, this funding would support the Behavioral Health Centers for Excellence at UCLA and UC Davis. This funding would generally go towards neuroscience research that supports collaborative partnerships with the community in LA and Sacramento to treat mental illness.
Okay, thank you. Now, does the UC have any comments?
Well, thank you, first, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to express my appreciation to Senator Corbett and her staff for working diligently with the UC San Diego campus and Lawrence Berkeley Lab on this particular proposal. I mean, clearly this is a priority at the federal level with the president putting in $100 million and any effort on California's part to be able to demonstrate their commitment behind this effort could secure a portion of that funding. On the Mental Health Services Act, this is funding out of Prop 63, again, for some meritorious work that's going on at the UCLA and Davis campus. And if there are Prop 63 funds that would be available for this purpose, we would have no objection.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lenz. Does Department of Finance want to comment?
We oppose the recommended documentations. They create costs that are outside of the May revision, and the university can choose to allocate funds for these purposes if the regents decide to do so.
Okay, thank you. Question?
I think we all agree how important this is, and my question is, if this happens, how would the university distribute $2 million? How would that be decided? I mean, given the magnitude and scale that's required, I'd be happy to send the $2 million to UCSD, to your lab. I mean, the reality is the magnitude is, and if you look at everyone in this society, and from pharma to biotech to the universities, it's a huge amount of money. We all know what's coming in terms of Alzheimer's and all the rest of it, and all those things you described. But how is this actually going to be allocated?
Should I
For
comment on that?
allocation, do you want to?
Well, I mean, clearly, we're going to follow the intent of the legislature to allocate it for this specific purpose, but I'll defer to my colleague here to describe what they envision as the grant process associated with this proposal.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't believe it has been decided, but I'll tell you what I would do, and I think what the people I know who are active in it would do, and that is aim for the part of the whole process that is absolutely crucial but can't get funded through NIH, and that is the small grants program. You know, if you have a great idea, like I say, I've read these proposals from NIH, and they're big proposals. You know, we'd be able to fund a few of them, but if that's how we went, but we can fund dozens of small ones, and the small ones don't require then that the person have a big team, that they have years of preliminary data, which is what you have to do to compete at the NIH level. So we've done this at UCSD with the Kavli Endowment. What we do is a small grant program, and it basically goes to students through these grants.
Students, those would be graduate students through grants internal to the University of California.
That's correct, and postdocs. And we
Postdocs.
use the interest from the endowment for that. Other places around the country have Kavli foundations or institutes, and they use it for one big lab. We distribute it as small grants.
I think that's great. Senator Corbett and you and I have discussed this. Normally, I would prefer that this go through the budget process through approps, but I'm happy to support this, and probably we need more. This epidemic is coming, and there are all sorts of other reasons. And in terms of the other, there are lots of questions as to how that works, but it's $5 million. It's for something good. The only question is, does that come out of Prop 63 money?
That's my understanding. That's what it's been designated from, is the Prop 63 fund.
And Senator Wallin, just to respond partly to the $2 million, which is a relatively small amount, it's our hope and frankly our expectation that the University of California and UCSD in particular will be able to internally add to the support for this and hopefully do external fundraising as well.
I think that's great, and the more of it that goes to UCSD, I think you and I both think that would be a good thing.
Seeing no further questions from members of the committee, I'll thank and excuse this panel and invite up, if any.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. If any members of the public wish to address the committee on this topic, seeing none, we will move to a vote, and I will ask staff to read the recommendation and call the roll.
The recommendation would be to approve $5 million in Mental Health Services Act funds for behavioral health centers for excellence of California, and $2 million of general fund for the CalBrain program. In addition, adopt placeholder budget bill language to distinguish these programs within the UC's budget and trailer bill language to establish the CalBrain program. Senator Block?
Aye.
Senator Liu? Senator Weiland?
Aye.
Okay, please show this passing 2-0, and we will hold the roll open for Senator Liu to add on if she chooses. Thank you again, Senator Corbett.